The majority of people who are law-abiding and have never been to a jail or prison would have no idea, have absolutely no idea what really goes on inside these institutions and jails.
I'm always aware of my surroundings. Wherever I go, I'm constantly aware. Not being paranoid, it's just whenever I work in somewhere or I walk in an area, a secluded area, I already got my diagram, know which way I gotta run, where to go, and I'll use anything to survive.
You're always on the line. You never know what can happen, when it will happen, but it's a job that someone has to do.
We're like firemen. We run to the fire. We don't run away from the fire. So we deal with the situation, stop the assaults, take the casualties to the infirmary, and continue business.
Behind the concrete and razor wire of California prisons, you enter a world almost impossible to imagine. Brutal, violent, unpredictable, where gangs battle for control and inmates attack officers to make their bones.
This place is crazy. It wears on you. Like I said, you can't teach this job to anybody.
It's not going to the cell and turning the key and opening up and throwing in the guy's food real quick and closing it back up. You got to deal with these individuals, and they're often all around you. Sometimes, you know, you got 300 and 400 people around you that are criminals, level 4 inmates.
A lot of people have the misconception that these are people that made a mistake and came in. These guys haven't made mistakes. They intentionally injured somebody to get here.
One I can think of that sticks with me quite often is I had a man that, I won't even call him a man. He had raped his daughters numerous times, sexually molested them for years and years and years. They even became pregnant with his children, and he killed them, killed the children that his own daughters had become pregnant with. That's pretty horrific.
A man that just broke into a home, a young couple, had a little 6-day-old baby, raped the wife, killed the husband in front of the wife, raped the wife, beat up the baby, actually basically threw the baby out in the backyard, 6 days old. Ended up killing the wife, and he got away, but they caught him.
You know, this is what we deal with every day in here, is animals like that.
With names like San Quentin, Corcoran, and Salinas Valley, Chino, Folsom, and Pelican Bay, California's maximum security prisons house some of the most violent inmates in the world, making it the toughest beat in the state.
They don't know how to work for what they, want. They take what they want when they want it.
That's all we deal with for years is people trying to game us and get over on us, So that's one of the big things is they're highly manipulative. Don't trust any of them.
Hey, convict, come up here, man.
Gang investigator Zap Zamudio is California's most decorated correctional officer.
It's a new breed now compared to when I came in. You push me, I'm pushing you back. If you manhandle me, I'm going to resist you, and it's on kind of thing. And they just start getting brave, and next thing you know, we have several step assaults. I always tell an inmate, in the history of corrections, never has an officer stabbed an inmate. And why is it the inmates feel compelled to stab us? We didn't put you here.
For safety, prison life is highly structured, but the routine is often shattered when inmates attack officers or other inmates.
These guys are not only prone to violence, but it's like they're committed to violence. And that's how they survive.
Inmates are going to fight. Like I said, they don't like each other, and they're going to fight. They have these gang lines that they follow strict behind. They segregate themselves. We don't segregate them, they segregate themselves.
Crips, Bloods, Aryan Brotherhood, Emmy, Norteño, Northern Structure.
These guys have their own rules. They have their ways of living. Some guys in here have been here for a long, long time. Here they are somebody. They get out there and then they're lost.
Some of the rules, the unwritten rules, inmates have established, not us. The whites are, they've their own tables. They have their own tables on the yard that only the whites go to. The blacks have their own area. Southern Hispanics have theirs, and so on. Respect is a big issue. How you treat somebody is how you're going to be treated. You know, violence is carried on with a business type attitude instead of an emotional attitude usually. You know, it's just business, that's just the way it is. There's a lot of drugs that come into prison, and that kind of drive the violence, you know, and the gang mentality.
You're white, you come in, you're going to belong to the white gang because that's the pressure you get in here. They find out that, say he's a Southern Mexican, and maybe his best friend is from Fresno, but you know, he's going to have to decide, are you running with the Southern Mexicans or are you running with the Northern Mexicans? You can't do both. You can't have a friend that's a Northern Mexican. And if you do, well, then we're going to give you a weapon and we're going to say, you know what, you're his best friend and you can get close to him. You need to go and you need to stab him.
You know, you can't show any type of affinity or affection or even a liking somebody from a different race, otherwise you get stabbed by your own people.
We know you can get close. Here's the weapon, do it. Well, I don't want to. Okay, no problem. We'll stab you. So you get a lot of pressure in here. The gangs put a lot of pressure on the other inmates when they first come in to be part of the gang.
When they do things, they're going to do things in a way to not be seen and not be identified. And so they all shave their heads or whatever necessary. There'll be a bunch of them, they'll all wear their clothes the same way. And they know that somebody's going to do a hit that day, meaning an attack on a staff member or an inmate, and they'll camouflage themselves the best way they can.
9 out of 10 times they'll do it. He'll commit the stabbing. He'll get locked up for a year down his shoe or whatnot. He'll come back with respect. He'll have a badge of honor, a badge of courage on his chest, and he'll be now included completely as one of the guys. They know he's trustworthy. He's made his bones.
These guys don't like themselves, they don't like each other, and they mostly don't like us because we keep them here.
I've been physically assaulted several times, got scars, my forehead, got a reconstruction right leg, holding up by pins.
Most of these individuals here at this level 4 institution, they don't have a lot to lose. A lot of them are lifers. And as long as they get what they want, and that's get rid of you, and they get a badge of honor. They took an officer out. Man, what a great thing.
You can get along perfect with this inmate, have a good rapport with him, and don't take it personal because he's got a job he's got to do just like we do. And they can attack you at any moment.
They set their own petty wars to the side, and then their common goal is towards staff now. And to have that many people focused on 15 staff members, sometimes it's very stressful.
Because of budget cuts and prison overcrowding, California has one of the worst inmate-to-officer ratios in the nation. Only Alabama and Oklahoma are worse.
Well, the state of California prorates our ratio staff, and when I say staff, I mean correctional officer, to the inmate at 200 per 2 officers. And primarily, it's just something that you become used to.
These guys are treated better than you and I on the streets. They've got better medical coverage. You know, they got laundry service, they got security, they got free electric, free housing, you know.
These are actually classrooms. They may appear to be cages to some folks, but this is what the state will provide. This is the length that the state will go to try to educate these young men. But we do so much for these young people with the hopes that it helps.
The care is top-notch. Inmates here can see a doctor within minutes of a complaint. They have routine sick call weekly, so they definitely get a chance to see their doctor very frequently. I have a couple of kids at home, and I have to make an appointment for them to see their doctor, and it may not be within the same couple of days I would like. So the services are matching the community standard, if not exceeding.
What we're trying to do is get this young man prepared for life when he walks out the front door to a life that he, for the most part, has no idea and hasn't been to.